today we're going to do a little science experiment. My transmission's been grinding into first and second. Like, unless you push the clutch in, wait a couple seconds, and then slowly put it into first, it grinds into first. And shifting to second above anything over like 2,000 RPM, it grinds into second too. Sometimes it'll go in on downshift, sometimes it won't. But first and second are the main issues here. So I've heard wonderful things about synchromesh. This is Pennzoil's version of the GM synchromesh. Now, these transmissions are supposed to use ATF, but from what I've read, it seems like synchromesh should work. We really don't have anything to lose right now because it's grinding pretty bad. And it's something I really want to solve, so we're going to try synchromesh in it, see if that solves the issue. If it doesn't, then we'll move on to something like Amsoil ATF or Redline shockproof, or something else. But this is going to be the first step. We're going to see if this truly does solve grinding issues. Alright, so there's our drain, but before doing that, we're going to make sure we can undo our fill, because if you can't undo the fill and you've already drained all the fluid, then you're kind of screwed because you can't get any fluid back in it. So always check your fill first, make sure you can get it loose and out, and then do the drain. You're going to do that. It just uses the end of a 3/8 ratchet. Oh, that was easy. I think I already checked this before and it was fine. No fluid should come out. Alright, now it's time to drain it. Well, that made a mess.
Always.
This shit's nasty. The aftermath. Alright, so to get one of these bottles in the transmission, there's no good way to like get it in there and squeeze it in, because you can't really raise it up higher and there's not a lot of room. So we've got this, which we've cleaned out. So we're going to fill this up with the synchromesh and then use this pump to pump it out and up into the transmission. That's it. I don't know if you guys saw it. For those of you who haven't put gear oil or fluid or anything in a transmission, basically it's same with the diff. Once it gets to the point where it starts spilling out of the fill hole, that's when it's full. That's how you know it's full. So it started spilling out, we put the thing on. So now Fed is installing my front corner light things. He got me some LED bulbs so that they're
dual color, so it should be running lights as white and then blink amber for the turn signal.
So that'll be nice, because right now, actually one of them's out, but before one of them was like white and one of them was amber. So trying to clean it up a little bit. It's the little things, right?
The little things.
So now I have LED running lights. And they're matching. And they flicker orange. I did see a bunch of comments of people saying that I really needed to change them because they were one mismatched and two ugly. And
Three.
Fed came,
Burnt out.
yeah, and now one was burnt out. So Fed came in with the swoop skis. The win. Alright, we're gonna lower this down, see how the trans does. Alright, so the verdict is it didn't solve the issue. It's a little bit better, definitely, than it was before, and I think that's a lot to do with just clean fluid in there instead of old fluid. But that's not all. We're going to drive around in this for about a week or so, see how it is, and get some Redline shockproof here. That worked on my car over in Japan, my JZX90. Fixed the grinding issue, same grinding issue. So I'm going to try that just because. So that'll be the next step. So I'll see you guys in like a week. Alright guys, so it's actually been about like 3 or 4 weeks. I've just been driving around. I haven't really had time to do the second part of this test. So we got some longevity testing out of the synchromesh. It didn't get any better. Please keep in mind that none of this is like a sponsored video. I paid for all this stuff. I was just testing out of my own curiosity. So we have some new stuff to try today. I have high-ish hopes that it'll work. So we have this red wine shockproof gear oil. This is equivalent and similar to like an ATF. It has like the protection of a 7590, I believe, if I remember correctly. This is what we use on my JZX90 in Japan and the R154 I had that was grinding, and it completely fixed the issue. So I have high hopes, but after the failed test of the synchromesh, not such high hopes. We also have this AMSOIL diff fluid, as well as like their slip lock additive for the LSD. And another Mobile One 1550 gear oil change. I use this stuff because it's very similar to Valvoline VR1, which I like a lot, but it's a lot more expensive. This stuff's like 20 something bucks at Walmart for 5 quarts. I need 7, I think, 6.5. So while we're at it, we're just going to go ahead and change all the fluids. We've got an event coming up this weekend. It's always good to keep on top of your fluids if you're really being on your car and drifting it. There's a bug right by the lens. Just to make sure everything's like in tip-top shape. So we're going to go ahead and get it on the little lift and start at it. I've been dreading this for no reason. This is easy, I've just been dreading it. Ah! So what was perfectly good fluid about 3 weeks ago, those little white spots are the new fluid. It's pretty dirty. It was probably good that we flushed it anyway. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and do the diff and oil fluid while it's up. They're not gonna change the outcome of whether or not that fixes the trans. There's not really any reason why they would. So we're gonna do a diff fluid next. Let's see. And metal flaky. Which is what I would have expected out of the trans, not the diff. I really hate the smell of gear oil. Ugh. Gosh, it's awful, especially used gear oil. Ugh. I don't know how Marco likes that stuff. Ugh. Holy shit, that's fast. Okay, maybe it's not that nice, it's leaking. So we're gonna put about 3/4 of this slip lock in. Guess I gotta cut the nozzle off this. Alright, I'm gonna go clean up because I'm super sweaty, covered in oil, and then we're gonna go for a test drive and see if the trans improved anything, or the fluid. We also gotta do some like figure eights and stuff to work the gear oil, the new gear oil into the clutches for the diff and such. Just cross your fingers, guys. Cross your fingers that this works. I have pretty low hopes, but I'm like trying to be optimistic. Far so good, but it's a little too early to tell. Oh, it went into second at a spot where it normally would not. Oh, it clunked a little into second there. Oh, it went into second. Tried downshifting in a second. It would definitely never ever not grind at this speed going into second. Oh, yeah, well. Still there. Try it again. I can feel it grabbing going in, like just a little bit. The general shifts feel smoother for sure. Try it down to second. Didn't like that. Alright, we're gonna try first gear without holding the clutch in too long. It seemed to go in. Okay, clutch up. This situation, it would normally grind with the clutch out. If I just push the clutch in real quick and try to immediately put it into first, always grind. So let's see what happens. Oh, still there. Let's try like a 1 second pause. Yeah, not much of an improvement there. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up now. If the red line is anything like the synchromesh, it's not gonna get any better over time. The synchromesh was a very mild improvement over what was in it. It was almost just like the improvement of like fresh fluid. The red line was definitely a noticeable improvement, but still definitely not fixed. It still grinds going in a second up or down first at any time, unless you push the clutch in, wait a second, and then put it in first. So it helps. It definitely worked on my car in Japan going in a second, but this car, the trans and the synchros are a little too far gone for it to fix it. So that's that. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope it helped clear some of that up. So if you guys have any questions, comment them below. And thank you guys for watching and subscribing. I will see you next time.
Production.